The first reason code is not authorized or recognized. It's self-explanatory. So the cardholder looks at their transaction balance and they realize, well, I don't really recognize this transaction. I'm sure that I didn't authorize this. This is what this reason code represents. Authorization was either not obtained or the cardholder just doesn't recognize that transaction. This specific reason code is provided when the cardholder believes that there is potential fraud because either they don't recognize a transaction or they believe they have not authorized it. Naturally, this almost always occurs in card-not-present transactions, usually in e-commerce, because people can easily identify transactions in which they have used their card physically. There are exceptions though, but mostly this reason code indicates transactions where the card was not present. It's important to notice that disputes with this reason code may be valid or not, because the consumer may have authorized the transaction that merely has a different merchant name or description from what they thought, which is frequent when the merchant's brand name is not their legal name, and their legal name is what appears on the transaction. But it can also be valid in the case of actual fraud. In this type of dispute, the merchants usually simply need to provide proof that the transaction was actually authorized by the cardholder. If the card company provides AVS, address verification services, for this card, it's also recommended for the merchant to show proof that they obtained a positive AVS match and shipped the goods to that location. In short, proof that they really sent the goods to the consumer. And if it's the case, the merchant should also provide proof that the chargeback is invalid because it doesn't adhere to card issuer requirements. For example, if the consumer states this too late, or tries to contest an EMV chip transaction, or possibly proof that the cardholder no longer wishes to dispute the transaction, or any other specific situation that may be the case. What are some examples of non-authorized or non-recognized transactions? The first is having an unauthorized expense. A cardholder sees a $37.99 transaction on the card and they know that they haven't authorized it, so they raise a dispute. The second is having a valid yet forgotten transaction. A cardholder sees a $200 charge and they contest it because they don't recognize it. But later, they do recognize it. They remember the purchase and they drop the dispute. Another example is having a transaction that is from a known merchant, but the transaction itself is unknown. For example, the cardholder sees a transaction for $179 that is from a known merchant and is similar to past purchases, but they don't remember authorizing this specific one. What are our key takeaways here? The first is that this type of reason code simply represents a situation where the cardholder does not recognize a specific transaction or did not authorize it. It can be valid or invalid. It may represent true fraud or not. It can be raised because an unauthorized transaction was charged, but it may also be valid and just forgotten to the user. And finally, the merchant usually only has to show proof of authorization. Since the code is about the transaction not being authorized or recognized, the merchant only has to show proof that the transaction was in fact authorized. Very simple. So as you see, this type of reason code occurs when the cardholder doesn't recognize a transaction. It may be valid, maybe the merchant is performing fraud, or maybe the cardholder just doesn't remember it, but it did occur.